Another star on my display, calling out from far away, calling out from far away. No one's been here before me now. I'll find a way, don't matter how. Through the dark and endless night, past the points of fading light. Every world that catches my eye makes me want to touch the sky. And I know that I was made for this. Every system holds another gift. Every horizon calls my name. Nothing left to hold me back again. Out here where the stars are bright and new, there's always one more frontier to break through. Break through. Shots are blank and sensors clear, all these wonders drawing near. Let them say it can't be done, while I'm chasing distant suns. In my ship I feel alive, as these cosmic waves I ride. Every scan reveals the way to places where I'll make my way. We are all explorers at heart, born to push the boundaries of art. Time to rise, time to fly, beyond what meets beyond. Beyond. Every horizon calls my name. Nothing left to hold me back again. Out here where the stars are bright and new, there's always one more frontier to break through. Break through. I hear the call of distance, and I know I found my place. Oh, found my place.
Okay, well, sorry about that mix up during the intro. Hit the wrong key. It switched scenes on me. At any rate, gonna do some more Exobio. Don't know how long I'll stream tonight. I'm kind of tired, but thought I'd get some in. Hadn't streamed in a few days. Anonymous, welcome in, as always. I'm at present moving away from the Distant Worlds 3 area. Just to get to where undiscovered things are. I just passed through a system that had 72 bodies. Thankfully, it was already mapped. Got a course plotted up and over that way, and I think I'm filtering on K and maybe G stars. Yeah. We'll see what we get. Did a little bit of tritium mining earlier. Thought about doing that again. And I just told somebody in system chat that I was like going, I just put out a message that wonder if I should go tritium mining or if do some exploration. And some guy goes, does the carriers need tritium? And I was like, as far as I know, no, I don't. And then it turns around. I looked at my squadron carrier's name had been renamed to buying tritium 200k per ton. We really don't need tritium. It's kind of a test to see if anyone will do any mining. I don't know. That's what the A Cow for All Seasons said. So I did a little bit of mining earlier. I think, let's see, has this system been done yet? Yeah, it already has been. Okay, we shall press on. Hope everyone's had a good weekend. I've not been doing a whole lot. My new replacement CPU came in from my other motherboard. Put it in and it's working fine. So now I got to put it back in its case and stuff. And I don't know what I'll use that system for. It's got Linux on it. It will run Elite. It's got a even weaker powered NVIDIA card on it than 1050. It's a 75 or 750 or something like that. I can't remember. But it will actually run Elite. I put a Intel i7-3770 on it. It had a i7-2600. So really not a whole lot of difference between those two CPUs. It's slightly faster, a little more modern technology, less power, probably 15 or 20% faster, but even though it's clocked the same number of cores. But it was cheap, so. Alright, we'll just press on here. Hopefully we'll start finding something. It did pretty good. Did like 600 million in the last day or so. Just gadding about. Found some stratum tectonica. Some other stuff. Nothing spectacular, but really not too, not really caring a whole lot about finding high value items or even low value items. I'm looking for something that's different, you know. We have lines here, so. And I'm in economy mode, taking tiny jumps, so you should get a lot of systems here. Okay, there are some lines, but there's not 17 things on radar, so let's see what we got here. Okay, looks like it's fully mapped. Nothing worthwhile here. Hi, sweet star. How are you tonight? Hope you're doing well. Well, I'm glad you're doing good. Look, my hand is almost healed. Really, much better. And that the Super Bowl is tomorrow. You say so. I'm not a big sports fan. I used to watch a lot of college football, but not hardly any NFL football. Who do you want to win? I honestly don't even know who's playing. How did that happen? Oh, question mark. Question mark is a hotkey for that effect you saw on the screen. Looks like ads are getting ready to start. 10 seconds. Let them run so the pre-roll ads go away. Oh, the Seahawks has a deaf player. Okay. It's gotta be cool. So I guess the Seahawks is one of the teams playing. Again, I have no idea who's playing. One thing I know about the Super Bowl is someone named Bad Bunny is supposed to do a half time show, and something about he's going to be singing in Spanish or something, and people are upset about that. I don't know. It doesn't seem like the right platform to do that. Derek Coleman. Okay. You hope the Seahawks win. Okay. Again, I don't know who's playing. How are you doing today, Ocker? Just in time for the ads. Saw you playing Farming Simulator earlier. I don't know how long I'm going to be streaming tonight. I'm tired. I'm always tired though. So Derek plays for the Seahawks. I guess I should see if anyone's mapped this before I go to all this trouble. Looks like someone has. You would figure by now we would be getting away from this stuff. Ammonia though, with 5 and no first footfalls. We'll have to. We be having to scan this system to see what be here. I still don't know who else is playing. Every world I've walked, every star I've mapped is a letter I'm writing that can't be sent back across the world. Until I don't follow sports. I don't even know who this playing in the Super Bowl. I used to go to Super Bowl parties and stuff. Not really because I cared so much about the football, but it was a party. So I've been to a couple of Saints games and stuff because they're close by. But I used to enjoy college football a lot. The Patriots, of course. All right. That should be a good game, I guess.
Body C6. Landable with atmosphere.
May have stratum tectonica.
Carbon dioxide atmospheric landable with life. Body C5. Landable with atmosphere.
Nothing good there.
Ammonia atmospheric landable with life.
Ship cutting through the endless black. Instruments humming soft and low. While galaxies spin.
Hoping to find a green gas giant tonight. That would be kind of nice. Alright, let me verify that these don't have first football. Since they are mapped. It's not saying there's no first football. Okay, that one has a first football. And that's the one that has stratum tectonica. Oh. Change of plans. Never mind. We'll ignore it with dignity. If there was no first footfall, I would have went for it, but yeah. It is. Oh, wait a second. This has tubus sorbus. What is that? It's not coming up as a codex entry, so I've seen it before. Okay, let's see a picture of it. See. No. The outside cat is still outside. The weather's warm right now. It's nice outside. And that black cat, there's a long-haired black cat that's gorgeous. I got to get a picture of it. It's beginning to it's getting to about 2 or 3 feet from me. When I'm feeding it, it'll come up and actually eat out of the bowl with me there. I haven't tried petting it yet though. Why is that posting on Kick? Oh, I know why. Hang on. Let me switch to Twitch there. I was typing and it was going to Kick and to and to Twitch, so that's okay. I'm not streaming on Kick currently. Tomorrow's 56. Oh, that's nice. I don't know. It got up to. I don't know how warm it got up to today. It was very nice. It's supposed to be 66 tomorrow. And it's supposed to get down to almost 34 tonight, but that's not bad. But tomorrow looks good, weather-wise. I forgot what I was doing now. Looking up at stars tonight. 16 bodies. Never been so far from home. Right, no one's been here. Saw the mission born in flight. Okay, it's all ours. Let's see what we got. No gas giants though. Found a couple of Earth-like worlds. Got pictures. One of them is very close to Earth-like.
Landable with atmosphere. Carbon dioxide
Possibly
atmospheric landable.
there.
Body
but it was about 0.8 G.
Sulfur dioxide
Just
atmospheric
a little warmer
light.
than Earth. A little bit smaller than Earth, but it's pretty close. Oxygen, nitrogen levels and everything were about the same. Could be Earth too. First assignment, distant worlds. Heartbeat faster than the drive. Every scan, each system swirls. Makes me feel so much alive. Following footsteps through the stars. Body B5. Landable with atmosphere. Sulfur dioxide atmospheric landable. So, Ocker, when are you going to play Elite if you're still watching? Body A3. Play a real game. With atmosphere. Carbon dioxide atmospheric landable. Body A5. Informing
landable
bacteria.
With atmosphere. Nitrogen atmospheric landable with life.
Well, we'll have to go get that excuse me, informant just so we don't go back empty-handed. We'll check to see if that stratum tectonica is there. You don't know? We want to go to A2 first. I made chicken chili tonight. Chili with chicken instead of beef, but it turned out really good. Spicy. I put a habanero, cut up a habanero and put in there, and 2 jalapenos, and some crushed red pepper, and of course chili powder and black pepper. It's very spicy. It's really good. Put some in the freezer to freeze it because I made a big pot of it. Got some in the fridge to eat later, and some I froze for tomorrow or the next day. Anytime you want to just nonchalantly slow down, that'd be real cool. All this just to find out that there's bacteria here. Let's find out first. Excuse me. We won't know until we check. What is that? Is that the nebula we came from?
Body
Oh, it's
A2
stratum. We got
may
lucky.
host a high-value biological.
We definitely not going home empty-handed then. What a great way to start the stream. The very first thing I find is stratum tectonica. That's a good omen, right? Or we'll get the good stuff out of the way first, and the rest will suck. We'll see. Doesn't matter either way. It's going to be what it's going to be. I might try hooking up one of the Linux machines and trying to use it to encode the stream. But if I do that, I'm gonna lose a lot of functionality with the streamer, but not necessarily. Huh. The streamer bot connects to OBS via the network. I just have to point it at the right network. OBS in the right spot on the network. If I stream on Twitch. If I don't stream on Twitch and do it, but I most likely won't. To test it, I'll probably be on Kick or something. But I don't really use StreamerBot on Kick or on YouTube too much. Some of the exclamation commands work, but like the channel point redemptions and things don't, because there are no such things there. I don't like the way this is sure not very smooth tonight. I rebooted the computer just before I streamed. Had an issue on the last stream where the stream had a momentary interruption, probably maybe 2 seconds or an instant disconnect or something, and OBS reconnected, but that started a new stream. I had to merge the 2 files to combine them when I uploaded the VOD to YouTube. But I have no idea why that happened. I don't know if that was something on my end or if it was a network issue or something. I didn't even notice it until I happened to look over at the stream manager and it said that my session duration was 5 minutes, and I was like, I've been streaming for like an hour. What are you talking about? My landing gear is down. There must be pebbles underneath. There we go. Some rocks underneath me or something that's not letting me land. Make sure I hit the right key here. It's a little screen game, right? I need a stream deck. Or a separate keyboard. Keypad, you know, like a separate numeric keypad or something to use for scene management. Doesn't have to be all fancy like a stream deck. Or something I can map keys to that work everywhere. Right now I have to use like function keys, and those other things have keys mapped to them. So. I did not see a first footfall notice. Did I miss? This system was undiscovered. I think I just missed it.
Stratum tectonicas confirmed present. Base value 19.01 million. Minimum sample distance 500 meters. First partial sample collected.
Get distracted. Let me look at the system map a second. Since first footfalls are instant, it should say my name on it now. Okay. It can also say first map, but that won't say that until I turn in the data. So.
Minimum distance reached. You've traveled over 500 meters from previous sample.
I only expected to get Inform here. I didn't expect to get Stratum. Hey, I'm not complaining.
Every star's a destiny. Light years can contain my flight into the endless night. Where no light's been seen before, that's where I make my home. Breaking through to cosmic roar, always more alone. Where no light's been seen before, each world unknown.
Second partial sample collected. Minimum distance reached. You've traveled over 500 meters from previous sample.
At least the kids won't go hungry. 95 million for that. Which is 40 million more than I made with a load of tritium I delivered to the courier. Made 50 million. The carrier paid me 50 million for 251 tons of tritium. Then I turned around and donated another billion to the squadron carrier. So. Okay, we're done here. Let's go get that informant now.
Sample collection complete.
I'm going to go to A5. Let's go right by it. Okay. Well, it's not too dark over there.
Procedures initiated.
Point 5G. What's around here? For greenish gray splotch. Here's one.
I'll watch him launch into the black. Commander Picardison won't look back. Curious cat cuts through the void.
Now my lighting's a little dark tonight. I got my ring light turned off.
Stars like diamonds in the night. He's chasing
Right button this time.
light. Every jump could be his last. but he's built to go so fast. Through the dangers, through the fear.
Really gonna be picky?
He's a void commander, writing maps across the sky.
Bacterium Informem confirmed present. Base value 8.42 million, minimum sample distance 500 meters. First partial sample collected.
I hope they're not too difficult to find.
Seen him scan 1,000 suns, land where no one's ever come, alien soil beneath his feet. Discovery makes him radio.
Just looking at the type of soil it's hanging out on. So
The galaxy's his home.
Minimum distance reached. You've traveled over 500 meters from previous sample.
Through the dangers, through the fear. He's a void commander, writing maps across the sky. Every planet tells a story of a soul to fly. Through the endless, through the dark. He's the fire, he is the spark. Void commander. When the heat runs low and the fuel runs thin, he finds a way to carry on within. Keep calling him home. Keep calling him home. To places as unknown. He's a void commander, writing maps across the sky.
I do not like this at all.
Every planet tells a story of a soul who dares to fly. Through the endless, through the dark, he's the legend, he's the mark. Void commander. Void commander.
Ah. There's some right there. I can figure out where right there is.
Riding the stars.
No idea. I know it's within the site though. There it is. Okay.
Commander's log day 2187.
Ads starting in 1 minute.
Systems nominal course remains steady. Empty space through the window.
A little ways away, but there's a pebble between me and it. So.
Can't remember Earth's gravity. Starting to forget who I used to be.
The right key.
Breaking transmission, lost in position. Light years behind me, no one can feel. Too far from home, too far from home. You turn left, too far from home. Rewind, too far from home. Too far from home. On a left, too far from home.
Okay.
Too far from home.
Sometimes it's slow. We have the menu log.
Commander's log day 2190.
Okay, we shall menu log. And we'll put us on the ground in front of the ship.
Messages flow on. Star charts showing nothing new. Mission control, where are you? Vision concession, monthly concession. My youth behind me, and no one can too far from the home. Too far from home. Can't fly high. Too far from the home. It's beyond.
I've not had to do that in quite a while.
As they peer, too far from the home, too far from home. Commander's log, last entry maybe. Ship's course locked, not turning.
Second partial sample collected.
Stars look different from here.
I think my neighbor kids are active tonight. When I say kids, they're probably 20
Just infinity.
or something. But, there's a whole plethora of cars
Too far from home.
going to their trailer and leaving.
Too far
It's Saturday night though, right?
Too far from home. Too far from
Let's put some distance here and see if we can find some more.
Minimum distance reached. You've traveled over 500 meters from previous sample.
Forming usually not quite this difficult to find. Staring into the sun is not helping here. Find some rougher terrain. Be nice of that stuff to finally pop in. There's something. Had to wait for it to render in. So let me land here somewhere. I wonder if it's because there's so many people in this private group. Maybe if I was in my own private group, it things would be a little quicker. I should probably try that. Usually I'm in the open now, so. I definitely miss my RX 580 though. The more I play with this video card,
Sample
the
collection complete.
more I notice its performance differences. Okay, we're done on this system. Oh, I gotta. Damn it. I'm gonna have to replot my route. I'm gonna lose my route. I'm gonna plot with the wrong stars. I can guarantee it's gonna plot with the wrong stars. We got some company out here. I'm gonna copy this. I know it's gonna screw it up. Okay, maybe it won't. I don't know who that is. They're at the wrong kind of star. Oh well.
There's an empty seat beside me, where you used to curl and sleep, while the galaxies turned slowly, and the void was cold and deep. Now I fly these routes alone, through the black between.
After a login,
But I swear
it replots automatically. 90% of the time it doesn't use the route filter. That's why I cleared the route and replotted it.
now smoky, running free across the sky. I see your shape in nebulae. Every time I'm passing by, the cockpit feels too quiet, but I keep the thrusters bright. You're chasing stars now, smoky, and I'm right here.
9 bodies. 2 stars. Nothing on radar but the stars. No gas giants.
How you'd watch me, plot the jumps from world to world. Your green eyes catching starlight as the hyperspace unfurled. Every station, every waypoint carries traces of your grace. Now you're scattered through the cosmos, and I see you every place. You're chasing stars now, smoky, running free across the sky.
Body A4. Landable with atmosphere.
Cheap Bacterian
Argon
Fonticula.
atmospheric landable with life.
You're chasing stars now, smoky, and I'm right here, still in flight. Sometimes when the silence settles, I can feel a phantom purr rising through the hole in metal, like you never really were. Gone, just waiting up ahead at some coordinates unknown. So I'll keep on pushing forward till I finally find you home. You're chasing stars now, smoky, running wild across the sky. I see your shape in nebulae. Every
17 bodies here.
this journey's not for nothing, you're the reason that I fly. You're chasing stars now, smoky, and so am I.
Body A3. High value body. Meets mapping criteria.
There's an empty seat beside me, but you're everywhere I go.
Body B5.
Stratum
Landable with
tectonica.
atmosphere. Ammonia atmospheric landable with life. Has high biological value.
I know someone flying out there past the edge of what we see, in a ship called Curious Cat, where the stars run wild and free. They left home with simple questions, now they're mapping distant suns. Every signal that they send back shows us worlds that can't be done. But who's out there in the black tonight? Who's pushing past the fear? Who's
Body
writing
A4.
down the stories
High
that
value
won't
body.
tell for years and
Meets mapping criteria.
years?
Body A5. Landable and terraformable.
Through time and space,
Landable with
We're going to
atmosphere.
go to B5.
High value body.
putting markers in
Carbon dioxide rich atmospheric landable. Meets mapping criteria. System discovery complete. First body to map is A3.
Because B5 has stratum tectonica.
but their data keeps on coming. Nebulae and asteroid field systems where 3 suns are humming. Every landing on a foreign hidden world, every scan of unknown life proves that someone took the chances that we never thought were right. But who's out there in the black tonight? Who's pushing past the fear? Who's
Assume the daylight's coming from the B star. We'll see.
It's the orbit of a curious cat, making jumps through time and space, finding planets no one's seen before, putting markers in their place. They're the reason we look up and ask what else is waiting there. Someone's got to take the first step out and show us how to dare. When the void gets too quiet and the distance feels too wide, they remember why they started, with the cosmos as their guide. It's the pilot of the curious cat, making jumps through time and space, finding planets no one's seen before, putting markers in their place. They're the reason we look up and ask what else is waiting there. Someone's got to take the first step out and show us how to. Someone's out there in the black tonight, someone braver than the rest, flying farther than we thought we could, putting courage to the test. Through the stars, in your ship, far from home.
Mapping complete.
All
Next body to map is A3.
just
Body
your
B5.
voice
Has high biological value.
on the comms, breaking through static storm. We watch you climb beyond the lines where no one's been. You pull us in. Every horizon calls your name. Every horizon calls your name. Every horizon calls your name. Into the dark you break new ground. Every horizon calls your name. First to see brand new suns, charting path one by one.
Let's see if it just miraculously shows up in front of me like normal.
Underfoot, making tracks.
We're down to about 600 meters or so.
Dust. You lead the way through dark
There it is.
space. No map to show which way to go. Every horizon calls your name.
1.35 G.
Every horizon calls your name. Every horizon calls your name. Into the dark you break new ground. Every horizon calls your name. You showed us all that we could fly past every wall up to the sky. command the bee, you set us free. Every horizon calls your name.
Stratum tectonic is confirmed present. Base value 19.01 million. Minimum sample distance 500 meters. First partial sample collected. Minimum distance reached. You've traveled over 500 meters from previous sample.
The delay in things rendering is such a pain. I mean, you could quite easily just zoom past it before it renders.
Second partial sample collected. Minimum distance reached. You've traveled over 500 meters from previous sample. Sample collection complete.
Let's go. We'll just go straight to it. It's above the horizon, so we can just jump.
Past the danger line. Stars streak silver by my wings, while the void around me sings. Plasma burns bright in the dark. Every shot must hit its mark. You can't catch me flying free through the black between the worlds. You can't stop
Nothing here.
me, drop me when the flag unfurls. I'm alive. I'm alive. Asteroid fields part like waves. For the bold, not for the slaves. Engines roar through empty space.
I don't know how much longer the Distant Worlds carriers are going to stay in this area. I guess I should probably look at the Discord so I can figure out when they're planning on departing.
Still I feel it crystal clear. You can't catch me flying free through the black between the worlds. Can't stop
Nothing here either.
me when the battle flag unfurls. I'm alive. Cold comfort in
We have some M&Ms left. That's a good thing.
but I choose to face what's there. Every
I tried to stock up for the weekend, but I've already went through all my Kit Kats.
but I'm built to fly too fast. You can't catch me flying free.
Oh, 41 bodies. That sucks. 3 stars.
When the battle flag unfurls, I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm alive.
Yep, let's see what we got here. Got some gas giants. It's not green.
Body AB2D. Landable with atmosphere. Carbon dioxide atmospheric landable with life.
Pretty ring, not green.
Body C3. Landable with atmosphere. Neon-rich atmospheric landable. Body C5. Landable with atmosphere. Neon atmospheric landable with
So far,
life.
everything's just cheap, inexpensive $1 million stuff. So far. No more gas giants.
Body AB3A. Parent has high angular diameter from body.
Two left. One left. Nothing here worthwhile.
Jumping to next system. Amazing. That's quite something.
There's a pull I can't explain, something calling from the stars. Every morning brings the same question burning in my heart. What's out there beyond this world? What's waiting in the dark? I hear the engine start to hum. The countdown has begun. I'm heading beyond the void tonight, where no one else has been. Through uncharted space, I'll find my light and show them what I've seen. Every star a door, something new. Every world a chance to break on through. Beyond the void, beyond the void.
Hmm. Well, nothing yet.
With colors I've never known, scanner sweeps across the track of paths that lead to the unknown. Gas giants spinning in their dance, moves that no one else is walked. My ship cuts through the cosmic dust, an exploration.
Ooh, a bot.
I'm heading beyond the
Adjusting for depth. As you know.
Oh, 4 bodies. Hmm. 3 things on radar, though.
Ads starting in 1 minute.
Beyond the void tonight, when no one else has been. Through uncharted space, I'll find my light.
Body 3.
And show them what
Highly eccentric orbit.
every star brought something new. Every world a chance to break on through. Beyond the void, beyond the void.
So ads in a minute. Yeah.
Jumping to next system. Marvelous.
Something calling from the stars, and I'll answer once again, no matter how far.
Completing system scan for cartography.
Body 4BA. Close orbit. Nested moon. Body 4C. Landable with atmosphere. Carbon dioxide atmospheric landable with life.
Okay. We have 3 bios on that planet 4C. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things listed. There is a possible of almost $12 million tubus. I think I'll ignore it. Be a good find for somebody. I like to stumble across some Electricaea, Recepta. Stumbled a lot of crystal shards in the other direction, though. I found. I didn't map any of them, but there's 3 or 4 crystal shard planets.
You asked me why I left the safety of home, why I chose the endless black. There's something calling from
3 stars, 4 bodies.
and I can't ever turn back. Through the void I'm sailing, past the edge of map space. Every star's a question, every world's a new chase. I'm a stellar wanderer, lost inside infinity, dancing with the cosmos, finding who I'm meant to be. Curious cat beneath me, carrying my restless soul through nebulae and starlight, making broken systems whole. I'm a stellar wanderer. I was foolish chasing phantom lights, said I'd find only emptiness out there, but standing on this alien world tonight, I breathe an atmosphere beyond compare. Through the void I'm sailing, past the edge of map space. Every star's a question, world's a new chase. I'm a stellar wanderer, lost inside infinity, dancing with the cosmos, finding who I'm meant to be.
Thought about while we were out in this area
Faster than light velocity.
to go to that place past Beagle Point. It's called something Reach. The furthest you can get, though, from the soul or something in a ship. Been there several times.
The ones who dare to venture where no commanders ever sold. Their fear for exploration, their doubt for
You have to use a. If you don't go in a carrier, you have to use an FSD boost
the galaxy calls free.
at least once, depending on your jump range.
I'm a stellar wanderer, lost inside infinity.
If I remember correctly, I only had to use one regular FSD injection. Didn't have to
Curious cat beneath me,
I almost had the jump range, but not quite. Not for the life of me remember the name of the place. But it's like 65 or 66,000 light years from Sol. Last time I checked, there was actually a carrier parked there. It's kind of cheating. Not green. I had Grok generate a list of where green gas giants have been found in the past, organized by star types and mass of the voxels and stuff. And 70% of them have been found in D sectors with K-type stars, I think. K and G. That's why I'm searching for K and Gs. They are found in other things too, but thought it was interesting. It's like 1 in every million scans someone finds one. And virtually all of them are found by accident, not by somebody looking for them. "18 bodies." Okay. Make the star tiny in the sky so it doesn't obscure things.
Body A6. High value body. Meets mapping criteria. New astronomical bodies codex entry. Terraformable. New codex entry. Terraformable rocky body. Body A7A. High value body. Meets mapping criteria. Body A7. High value body. Meets mapping criteria. Body B1. Landable with atmosphere. Carbon dioxide atmospheric landable.
Well, that's interesting. Possibly
Body
stratum
B3.
tectonica.
Landable with atmosphere. Carbon dioxide atmospheric landable with life. Body B2A. Landable with atmosphere. Carbon dioxide atmospheric landable with life. May host a new personal codex entry. Body B4. Landable with atmosphere. Argon atmospheric landable with life.
They say it's out here somewhere, 1 in 1,000 stars, but all I find is ice and stone, dead worlds and empty stars. How many rocks can one girl take? How many frozen spheres?
Body A8A.
I'm talking
Landable
to
and terraformable.
my dashboard now.
Landable with atmosphere.
Cat's the one who
High value body.
hears.
Carbon dioxide atmospheric landable with life. Meets mapping criteria. Body A8. High value body. Meets mapping criteria. System discovery complete. First body to map is A6.
We're going to go to B3. It's got 4 bios. One of them is stratum tectonica, possibly. The other things of relatively high value will probably drop off the list.
Another icy shell.
3.
The galaxy's a comedy, and I'm the joke. Oh well, my ship's computer mocks me with every system that uninhabited. It says again, my patience is nearly snapped. The cat is getting restless now. I swear I hear her sigh. One more boring planet, and I might start to cry. Where's my green gas giant? Tell me why every scan comes back the same. Brown and blue go by. Why can't I find you? What did I do wrong? The curious cat keeps jumping, but the search goes on and on. Wait, what's that signal? Could it be spectrum reading? Green frequency. There's my green giant. Finally I see. The curious cat was right to search across the galaxy. I finally found you. Everything's alright. My beautiful green gas giant. You're the perfect size. We never know
Half the moon, half the planet's missing.
something
There it goes. For a while, the dark part wasn't obscuring stars. The alligator and concha will probably drop off. That's unfortunate. The alligator is almost 8 million.
Mapping complete. Next body
That's
to map
exactly
is
what dropped
A7A.
off.
Body B3 has high biological value.
Everything else is just a million or just barely over a million. We'll get the stratum. That'd be 3 stratums in this stream so far. That's nice. Two 8G or 26G.
beyond the maps, where signals fade. Just a steady pulse, leading the way. Breaking through the dark, every light we chase leaves a trace that time can't erase. Our echoes span light years, through time, through space. What we find out here, no one can replace. Our echoes span like years.
About 290 million.
Charts and scans light up.
Not include. That's just with the stratum, not including the informant I got. I think I've over 300 million after this.
Every world we touch, every star we name, makes its mark in this cosmic game.
Stratum tectonicus confirmed present. Base value 19.01 million, minimum sample distance 500 meters. First partial sample collected.
We find out here, no one can replace. Our echoes span light years.
Minimum distance reached. You've traveled over 500 meters from previous sample.
Anytime it wants to render. I think we can do better than that. Better in the sense of finding a place to land.
Stars, just breathing and believing that somewhere ahead something waits, something changes. Our echoes span light years, through time, through space.
One game. Oh, there's the tussle.
We find out here, no one can replace. Our echoes span light years through endless space. Our
Second partial sample collected.
Far beyond the maps, where signals fade, our light remains.
I won't be getting it, just looking at it.
Is made light years.
Minimum distance reached. You've traveled over 500 meters from previous
See me
sample.
out here chasing light, charting a path, just falling blue tonight. Smoky on my lap, purring as we glide. You know I can't look back, there's worlds to find. Waves of color pull me deeper on. Every jump's another leap I own. Riding the cosmic tide, I'm
Make sure I wasn't too far from it.
hearts racing under open skies. You call me daring, but I just call it mine. This endless ride, soaring high with you by my side. You remember, friend, the silence out beyond. Laughing through static, stars singing their song. Smokey blinks twice, he knows we belong. to the rush, the run.
Sample collection
Where the
complete.
brave are strong. All the silence spins to music now. Each world around us overthrow. Riding the cosmic tide.
FBI, open up!
Wake up. Probit_live is rating. Forcing 4 victims to suffer through your stream.
Hey, welcome in. Welcome in, Probot. Thanks for the raid. Hope you're having a good weekend.
On the edge of
I'm just doing what I normally do.
never lost when Smokey's close.
Just exobio. Been doing pretty good though so far tonight. How was your stream? Did you have fun? What were you doing? I actually want to know what you're doing because I didn't see you streaming earlier. That's what I'm out here. I just went off on my own a little bit, kind of up and diagonal away from the Distant Worlds 3 waypoint and looking around. Well, so far I have 327 million in exodata, 3 stratum tectonica and 1 bacteria, 1 informin bacteria. Hang on. No. I usually hang out on distant suns, but I move around, you know. A lot of times I'm not on any of them. Our squadron carrier is parked there also. I'll show you where I'm currently at right now. I'm in the FleetCom group right now. You see everybody's back over here. I'm just kind of off on my own, doing my own thing. You see other people in the FleetCom group here that are in green, out doing stuff that are my friends. What's my commander's name? Bacardi San. It's that. Feel free to send me a friend request. I thought we were already friends, but guess not. I'm not here. I'm gonna find the green gas giant. Yeah. That's what I'm gonna do. Can I see it? There you go. Now you should show up on the map too. If you're, yeah, there you are. You in a different private group? I am. Yeah. Okay. They stand beneath twin suns that cast their alien light. A pioneer of wonder in the endless cosmic night. They never sent you an invite? Well, you can still request it. The guy was pretty fast, but I did mine before DW3 started. But it took them like 3 days before they finally, it magically appeared. Yeah. You waited till the last minute? Hmm.
Quite something.
Well, that'll do it. I know you said it was kind of overwhelmed. You're in their Discord though, right?
Analyzing that.
Hmm.
When the fuel runs low and danger calls, when the black holes threaten to consume, you push forward
See what we find here. Let me get away from this star.
to our moon rising.
I'm sorry, I'm eating my stash of M&Ms. So I'm addicted to them. I already ate a whole big old bag of Kit Kats.
Body A3. Landable
I've been
with
finding a lot of
atmosphere.
stratum tectonica though. I've been
Neon
skipping a
rich
lot of things
atmosphere is
that
landable.
you know, are low values. I'm just looking for high value items or something rare, you know.
Turning from this chosen track, while warnings fade behind my wake,
I do. Oh, welcome in, Cater Fair. That's funny, a sweet tooth. I do like sweets. I love chocolate. Always have. Well, I honestly like the crispy M&M's best, but
Body A1.
I don't eat them anymore. I don't even
with
see them on the
atmosphere.
shelves anymore. So I just
Carbon
get the regular milk
dioxide
chocolate
atmospheric
ones.
landable. Ads starting in 1 minute.
The peanut butters are pretty good. There's nothing here worthwhile.
each nebula reveals its face.
Well, what's my favorite color? I don't have a color favorite. My favorite color is green.
While others cling to what they know, I plant my flag on distant ground. They say the universe too vast, but I make footprints
But I don't really have a favorite color. M&Ms, they all taste the same.
tonight. Where comets dance and worlds collide. My legacy burns satellite bright.
Uh-oh, Probot's gone offline. Yeah, I eat all M&Ms too.
Cause for those behind.
See, I'll show you. My favorite color is green.
You ask me why I leave home poor.
My ship is actually green, but the star is turning it kind of a sickly green.
I tell you now, my soul's transport.
I'm sure you've heard of my famous ship. It's called the Curious Cat.
The void calls out with siren song, and death must answer, I belong.
I like cats. I have a lot of cats.
I'll sail beyond the veil tonight. Where
It's all good.
worlds collide,
Only two? You're a rookie.
satellite bright.
I'm supposed to have I'm supposed to have 4 cats,
Beyond the veil,
but Smokey passed away about 6 months ago, so I was down to 3 cats. But there was a outside cat last winter, 2 of them actually, that I brought inside because it was like 20 degrees outside, and one of them turned out to be pregnant. And she had had a litter before that didn't make it. I know she had a litter because I saw a couple of the kittens, but I never could catch them. They just disappeared. But I kept her inside. I let the other cat go back outside. And she had her babies, so I have 5 more cats. So I have 8 cats right now.
another day.
Oh, the ads, I'm sorry.
I used to think space was empty and cold,
Let's see how much more time is left on the ads.
but now I know it's calling me home. The stars reach out,
Go to Water World.
hands drawing me further.
Don't care.
I never thought I'd find purpose so far from everything I knew to say. 'Cause before
Body 2. High value body. Meets mapping criteria.
Just waiting for the ads to get over. Okay, the ads should be over, right? Now, Smokey was my crew cat, though. He would lay in my lap while I played the game all the time. Yeah. He died kind of suddenly. It was horrible. But the outside cat that I brought in during the winter, last winter, this is like almost March. She was very pregnant, so she had her babies, and they're cats now. I couldn't find homes for them.
Body 1.
And they're
High value body.
I haven't even
Meets
given them
mapping
names.
criteria. System
But
discovery
they're real
complete.
pretty
First
cats.
body to map is 1.
Nothing wrong with them. I love cats, but that's too many cats. I mean, no one needs 8 indoor cats.
'Cause the void speaks to me in frequencies unknown. Every pulsar and star shows me where to roam. I'm just
I have a picture of them when they were kittens somewhere. Let me see here.
dark, leaving all fear.
This might take me a second, but I'll show you.
Dancing with celestial design. Each planet inside becomes your delight.
I don't know if I have any recent ones of them. Okay, this is when they were kittens. Let's see. Let me do this.
Sometimes in the silence between the stars, I feel you pulling me on, like gravity's force across endless dark, showing
Got to drill down in this OBS scene.
voice speaks to me in frequencies unknown.
Probably help if I move it over here so I can see what I'm doing.
Where to roam, I'm just following signals nobody else hears.
There we go.
Nothing passed through the dark, leaving all fear.
This is when they were kittens.
Final thoughts of today's decline. And I are
That's the kittens. That's not the mama cat. But I have a lot more pictures of them. Just not easy to find. I got lots of cat pictures though. Now, if I could just find them a home, I'd miss them, but I really need to find them a home.
light years from your touch.
One of them's a tuxedo cat. The father was a tuxedo cat. The mother is a
Breaking
kind of like a tortoise shell, a tortie.
each day I fly further past
So one's a red tabby, one's a tuxedo cat, and the one's kind of a tan tabby, and the other one's kind of a white and brown color. Very pretty. And all of them are real big cats, except for the black or the tuxedo cat. She's the only female,
galaxies unknown.
which in itself is going to cause an issue here soon if I don't take care of that. At any rate, we're done here in this system. Took my face off so you wouldn't see me sitting there chewing on these M&Ms.
New planets below. Strange
But Smokey, I miss Smokey. I'd be sitting here playing a game and he would meow incessantly at the door until I let him in. And then he would just jump up in my lap and sleep while I'm playing. For years he did that.
clothes where no maps can guide. I'm charting the darkness with you on my mind.
Oh! No, that was just the kittens. That didn't include the mama cat.
That's quite
hang on. I'll show you I'll show you a picture in just a second. I do have other pictures. I just have to find them. If you're interested. 23 bodies. Ugh, that blows chunks. Just you. Hang on. You would think I would put them under pictures, but I don't. I think. Okay, here we go. It's gonna take me a moment. Let me.
Just one more horizon, one last frontier, coming back to you.
What happened to my? Oh, it's in this scene here. Hang on. There. This is like this actually is in pictures. Okay, here's one picture with the mama cat and the babies.
My ship cuts through the dust and stone. The radar shows a million threats, but I keep pushing on.
You can see the mama cat there, and she's much bigger than the kittens there.
Be my last. The void is cold and unforgiving, but something pulls me further out into this life I chose.
And here's a picture of just the mama cat.
Past the edge of what I know. Here I stand when no one else would ever go. The stars are
Okay.
to find one life.
There somewhere. That picture's way too big. Wow. How big a picture is that?
Engines burn against the dark.
Getting to her, hang on. That's a big picture.
A field of spinning metal death
There, that's the mama cat. She is not a big cat.
like this.
Yeah, there was a big picture.
Picks up something new.
She looks a little rough there, but that was not too long after she had her babies.
Whatever waits out there for me, I'll face
And last but not least,
them. Here I am, past the edge.
here is a picture of Smokey. Somewhere.
Eyes beyond.
This is from 2014.
They'll never understand back.
That was Smokey. Smokey was part of a litter that the neighbors had, and we rescued them. When they were little kittens, they followed the kids to the bus stop, and they made their way to my porch. And the neighbors didn't want them. They lived outside, so the Humane Society fixed them all. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. There was a black cat, 2 gray cats, Patches cat, I called Patches, and a solid black cat, Midnight. But and they're all, the only ones left is Patches and Buttercup. Buttercup, I didn't name Buttercup. Buttercup's a red tabby. But they're all from the same litter. At any rate, enough of that. Let's press on. Trying to find millions of credits here, right? I do love cats. And I'd love to find homes for some of these cats. That's not a green gas giant, but it sure is pretty. These other cats, though, the kitten cats, I call them, but they're really cats now. But they're good, well-behaved cats. They're loving and stuff. Oh, you missed it the other day. My hand was all bloody and stuff. I got bit by a cat, big time. You know me with my big heart. When it gets below 20 degrees or so, there's 2 more cats out in the woods, and that I've been feeding. And I thought we had a good relationship. She would, when I feed her, she would come up to me and rub on me, and she would occasionally let me pick her up, but she never stayed in my lap, but she let me pick her up and pet her. So I thought we had bonded well enough. And when it got down to 20 degrees, I was like going, okay, I'm going to bring her inside tonight. So, excuse me. I went outside and fed them, and she came up, and I was like going, you know, it's going to rain, then that front's going to come through, and it's going to get bitchin' cold. And I thought, when it starts raining, she's going to disappear. So if I'm going to bring her in before it gets cold, I need to bring her in now. So I let her eat, and I pet her, and I picked her up and was going to bring her inside. She thought, no. She proceeded to gnaw the crap out of my hand and everything. And you can't see it now. It was all bloody and stuff, but it was just a scab there now. But she really chomped down on me a bunch of times. It's not her fault. It's not her fault. It's my fault. I pushed the issue. I should have just lured her in, or lured her into a cage or something, I have a heated shelter outside that she doesn't use. I mean, but it's heated. Her or the other cat doesn't use it. And someone said put food in there, and I had put food in there before, but when I put food in there, she don't go in there, but the raccoons and the possum goes in there. So, it is what it is. I do what I can, But I could have got her in that day if I'd taken my time. The first problem was we weren't on the front porch. A lot of times she would come up, and I could put food on the front porch, and she would come up there. She's actually walked in my house before. She walked in and turned around, walked back out. So I'm thinking, okay, we're good. I won't have any trouble at all. Yeah, I did. You should see the stream from that day. I've got a bandage on, and it's all bloody and stuff, and I'm like going, and I'm thinking, the cat's never going to trust me again now. But she's fine, I'm fine. And I'm not mad at her. It wasn't her fault. I mean, I pushed it. I scared her. I should have, taken my time. I really wanted to get her in before it started raining. But, it is what it is. It hurt like hell, though. I was so afraid. I got bit by a cat while I was asleep one time. If you have cats will sometimes just bite you, but not hard. Well, while I was sleeping one time, a cat bit me, and it startled me, and I yanked my hand away. I yanked my hand away so hard, the cat's tooth got embedded in my skin, and the cat actually got thrown out of the bed. But it was not a big deal. It was just one little puncture. But it got infected, and pus was coming out, and I had to go to the doctor and get shots and stuff. And I was so afraid that this was going to get infected. So as soon as it happened, I'm inside putting peroxide on it and washing it out really good. I put antibiotic cream on it and stuff. And it was fine. It's taken a long time, well, a couple of weeks for my hand still hurts when I do this. It got me on the tendon there. But it's healed up really fine. I had to take my ring off and stuff because my finger started swelling up. But it's all good now. That's life. The other cat that's out there, it's solid black. It is so gorgeous. It's a long-haired black cat. I've never had a long-haired cat before. I don't really want one, but that cat is so gorgeous. But he or she, I don't know which it is very skittish. But it's finally beginning to trust me enough when I feed it, it will come up and bless me with its presence and go ahead and eat while I'm still there, but it won't let me near it, but getting better. There's a gas giant hiding here with some moons or something. There. Oh, it's not green. I'm probably going to be wrapping up here in a little while. I might start heading back to the carrier and stuff. It's nice that the Distant Worlds carriers finally showed up. I've been out here way before the Distant Worlds carrier showed up. And all that was out here was Genker carriers. You're super tired? Yeah, I'm old, so I get tired easy. Sometimes my body gets on night shift and I'll stream overnight. But lately I've been sleeping at night, so I'm tired. I haven't streamed in a couple of days. As I throw more M&Ms in my mouth. Sorry. I'll do one more system, then I'll head back. I'll take big jumps back. It won't take very long to get back. I usually only stream a couple of hours, 2 or 3 hours. But I average about 300 million in a 3-hour stream, and I already have that, so I'm not going to go home empty-handed.
Hyperspace checking systems now complete.
I think I just donated another billion to the squadron carrier earlier tonight. I funded the squadron fleet carrier. I donated 28 billion towards the fleet carrier. So I get real picky when I do exobiology. I usually only go for the high value items. Because money's easy, you know.
Wait outside these walls. You chose the ship, you set the course. No one tells you what you are.
All right, let's take big jumps.
3, 2, 1.
The Distant Ganks is one of the Genker carriers that are, but the good thing about Distant Ganks is they have vistagenomics.
Every system, every star. You decide.
Okay, we're 3 jumps from being back.
Claim your name, nothing will ever be the same. The universe awaits your
I did some mining earlier because my squadron commander has changed the name of our carrier to buying tritium 200k per ton.
space awaits.
Odyssey has this. Oh yeah, I know the Distant Worlds has.
Silence in the deep.
Yeah, it was a father of all ganks or something. Well, that's fine. You know, he told me we didn't need tritium, so I did a little bit of mining. I put 700 tons in the commodities for him to grab. You know, and then I'm actually talking to somebody in system chat. In system chat, I'm like going, so should I go mining for tritium, or should I do exobiology? And somebody goes, well, does any of the carriers need tritium? I said, not as far as I know. And then I turn around and I look at the carrier, and the carrier's name is buying tritium. And I'm like, oh my God, I felt so stupid. So your aunt, what? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even see that. What does that say?
This is your territory. This is the moment you break free. The galaxy
Oh, yeah. I have a picture. A lady brought us this cat called Buddy. Big old fat cat. And he was pretty cool. And he was laying asleep or laying in my lap. And I started scratching him, you know, rubbing his belly. And he goes like, after about the third time, he decides he's going to rip the crap out of me. And I had like claw marks down my arm from him. He wasn't even, he just like, okay, enough of that. You know. Your type 11's in the system. Well, you know what? If you want to do some mining, I have my excuse me. I have a type 11, but I also have my Panther Clipper, and it's got a refinery, but I've only got one limpet controller on it. But I could bring it out if you want to, you know, do some mining or something. I can bring my Panther Clipper out there to collect rocks. Oh, almost see your bone. Yeah. This one here, the one that got me, it was pretty deep, and I really can't turn my hand around to see it. But this is a big hole. That was from his claws, but I remember, and the cat was chewing on my hand as I'm setting it down. I actually sat the cat down gently as it's just crunching on my hand, and I'm thinking, that's going to hurt so bad. It didn't hurt when it was happening, but it was going to hurt so bad later, and it did. But I was really afraid it was going to get infected because I did not want that. But if you want to do some mining, I can come in your private group and bring my Panther Clipper out. Unless you just want the money from the mining. I didn't even think about that. I mean, if I collect your rocks, it'd be hard for you to get paid for it. So maybe I won't do that. I'll just let you do it. Because I don't need the money. In fact, if I get money from the carrier, I just turn around and give it back. So it's up to you, though. If you want to do that, that's fine. I think his buy order is still about 5,000, unless somebody else has done something. I did 300 or 400 tons earlier today.
Completing system scan. Stand by.
The void doesn't care, I came.
You taking off? Well, I'm going to overshoot this really nicely. That's what happens when you look away. Somebody's here. Let's try not to hit the tail of that, though. But thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. I'm going to be ending here real shortly, too. Look at all these people flying around. All right, I'll be on tomorrow, too. I just don't know for sure what time. Who is that flying around having fun, buzzing me? Look at that. Just zooming around. Look at that. Who is that?
Start date unknown, logging out. The cat purrs without a
You can drop anytime, game. Look at all these commanders here.
ship cuts through space.
These type 11s, look at that. Somebody's been doing some mining. At any rate, I'm just going to turn in and call it. I don't choke on an M&M. Thank you so much for the raid, though. Appreciate you coming in and bringing your people by. You guys come back. I don't know when I'll be streaming again. Look in the chat there. I think it's cool though that so many people are out here. Usually I don't see anybody. I can go literally months without seeing another commander, because I'm very often out away from the bubble. So it's kind of cool that there's actually other commanders here. You can even run into them in the hallway, you know. Like walking to Vista Genomics or something. Sometimes you'll go past someone in the corridor. They'll salute, and I can't remember how to salute. I can point, but so I'm down to 3 billion since I donated money to the carrier earlier. Do I have any codex entries? I think I do.
Ad starting in 1 minute.
Well, I'm going to snooze the ad because there's no reason to make you guys watch an ad. I am going to be ending here. So I think I can get turned in before the ads start. And it'll be just over 300 million. Almost all Stratum Tectonica. I will stop for Stratum Tectonica as long as there's no first football. I'm picky. I'll stop for a lot of things, but cutoff's about 8 million base value is where I start, you know. Has to be kind of unique or something rare for me to go after a lower value item, but sometimes I will though, just because it looks cool, like Electricator or something, or Recepta. Hi.
1,000 worlds behind me, ice and stone and dust.
65 base value.
I'm searching because
327 million for a 2-hour and 20-minute stream.
they said
Could be worse.
a color no one's seen, but something deep inside me.
Thank you for the money.
That green, past another ice world, another barren sphere. I whisper to the darkness, are you near?
Sorry about my crappy frame rate. My main GPU died. I had an RX 580 that I used. It was okay. But it died, so I'm using a 1050 Ti, and it's not as good as my RX 580.
Till I turn
I'm lucky I had this. My son, when he moved out, he left a couple of old computers around, and this video card was in one of them, and I took it.
there's something rare and sacred with
It works. It's playable.
and the cure
All right, I'm done. I'm going to end it here, guys. And, well,
through the void so
I probably will be streaming tomorrow. I definitely will be streaming Monday. I might stream on YouTube tomorrow, though. YouTube and Kick. We'll see how it goes. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for the raid. It's very nice to meet you, Kata Fair. Not sure how you say that. Good night, Eminem guy. Y'all take care. Remember, fly dangerous. Sometime, if this would work.
Fly dangerous through the killing dawn. Fly dangerous, reaching for God. Hunt across the void of black. Credits burning, no way back. Target locked in scanner's eye. Chase the prize or fall and die. Engines scream through astral fields. Every risk the frontier yields. Wanted ships and bounty scores. Death awaits at distant shores. Fly dangerous through the killing dawn. Fly dangerous, make your final mark in the void where cowards turn away. We charge forward, claim day. Fly dangerous, risk is all we are. Fly dangerous among the dying stars. In the wreckage, credits earned, lessons written, bridges burned. Space demands your everything. On the don't reach you. We now